Hi, I'm Kenny, and I am an addict. I've been sober for 3 years, though. Had a spiritual awakening due to working my steps, working a little bit of a program. But I did do it untraditionally. So what my plan here is to put my shit out there for the world to see. And I'm going to do it to the best of my ability, to be honest, forward. And I think I'm going to put it all out there. I think I'm going to just air it out, put it out, and see what happens. Because I know that my story, my book, the one that I am in, has been, wow, yeah, some chaos, crazy shit happening. But something that's happening in the world right now is we're experiencing what I consider to be the Great Awakening. So I guess I should start this with welcome to the Great Awakening. We are in a time where we can get any information at the tip of our fingers. I mean, literally, you're looking at a godlike device. This thing can answer any question. But remember, it will give you perceptions, people's ideas. It doesn't mean that that's what it is. It doesn't mean that the answer is just in Christianity, or the answer is in being just a Muslim, or in Hinduism, or, like any other practice. Not only one has it, but they all have a way. They all have a way to get to that divine presence inside to communicate. I guess that was the wrong way of saying it. I am a little nervous because no matter what, I am hitting send or upload on this. With all of the fucking mistakes, with all of the words not coming out right, but I do know me, and I know that once I get comfortable doing this, and after a few times, and after a little bit of my story comes out, maybe I can pick up a dialogue with somebody or get on somebody else's podcast, which will be cool. I'm sure the name of my podcast is going to change because I don't even know if I have a name on my podcast right now. I just have a YouTube account that I'm about to upload this to for the first time. Synchronicities are real. So if my story right here, this little bit, comes across your YouTube, it did it for a reason. You did it because maybe there's something in my twisted past that I have made it through that you're going through right now. Maybe right now you're struggling with addiction to the point where you know you want to be clean, but you don't know how to do it, and you've tried doing it for everybody else time after time after time. And no matter what, you get home from rehab or home from jail and you do good for a minute, and then you're back on the fucking rip. And you're back ripping and running to the point where when you get picked up, that's it. You're back on the fucking floor pulling a caliche. Rolling and trying to burn your skin up on that concrete, man. Rolling on concrete, puking and shit in your pants. I mean, if you're sick of that and that's where you're stuck, maybe that's why I came across your YouTube feed. Because I think I found the way. And it really does involve having a higher power. And I know that turns a lot of people off because they don't understand what spirituality is. They got a concept of what religion is and think that ties together with spirituality. But as we say in our program, this is a spiritual program, not a religious one. And I found that religion closes your mind off. To be religious is to not look outside of your religion. It's to no longer find any information because you found the way, which is a trap in my mind. I hope that doesn't turn a lot of people off because I said that, because I know there's a lot of good Christians out there right now that are struggling with addiction and struggling with porn addiction, drug addiction. And I suffered with all that shit too, but I don't suffer with it anymore. Don't get me wrong, there's things in my life that I still can't control. But I have found a way to curb the cravings, to minimize the amount of time that I sit in dwelling, and I've changed my thinking. So I was a heroin addict for 10 years, and then after that, after my rip in jail and rehab, I lost my wife because she left because of our drug addiction. And for 3 years, I went back to using. I was back on dope. I was shooting heroin a little bit, but mainly meth. So I really methed up that time, right? But so that lasted for 3 years. I had a girl with me through the whole thing, and I had some really crazy ass karmic situations happen to me and synchronicities that were happening to me that woke me up. That was like, hey bro, it's time to get the fuck up and do what you're here for. And right now, I know that I'm here to make a difference in this world. And the difference I think I'm gonna make is with maybe finding one of you broken souls out there that are actually trying, because God helps those who help themselves, right? So if you're out there blaming everybody and blaming yourself and going fucking nuts, can't figure it out what you really want to, I have the way. A lot of people ain't going to be able to follow it, but if you stick with me and you stay open-minded, that's one of the biggest things, is open-mindedness and willingness. It's actually the how of NA. It's honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And with those three principles, trust me, your life will change. Your life can change if you follow the directions of an NA or an AA program. If you're out there right now struggling, if you're in a room sitting there around a bunch of your friends listening to this guy talk on the phone about his addiction and you're thinking, yeah, right, it can't be done, I promise you, I was one of the worst of the worst. I've overdosed more than I even want to say. I don't even want to put the number on there, because when I do, that might make people think that I'm a bullshitter. So I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to say it happened more times than a normal person could comprehend, but an addict would get, because y'all have been there. And you know that Narcan its effects start to not work for you the more that you overdose. So I got to a point where it was like 7 vials of Narcan. My girlfriend didn't give up. She kept hitting me and hitting me and hitting me and kicking me and stepping on my chest and trying to get me back. And I had been gone for 12 minutes. No oxygen. I came back. And I didn't stop using it at that point. But at that point, it was like, really? It took 7 bottles this time? And I felt different. I felt like if I did it again, I wouldn't come back. It wasn't my last overdose, but it was the overdose that made me start to think about what I was doing. I played the game, and if you're an addict that stuck a needle in your arm and did heroin, then you'd know that the game. You'd know the game. Well, I played the game. And I tried to bring information back from the other side. So yeah, I purposely shot heroin to overdose, to be brought back by Narcan, to see what was on the other side, to see if I could bring back any information. And I never could. I never remembered anything. It was always just blackness. It would mean peace, straight peace. Like, I can't explain the level of peace that is with an overdose that a normal person could comprehend. But an addict out there, somebody who's been doing it and playing the game, y'all get it. But stop playing it, because you ain't never going to bring nothing back. And if you fuck up too much, you might not come back right. I am, by the grace of God, still able to communicate and have conversations, and I'm out there. Don't get me wrong. I'm out there. I'm into conspiracies. Like, I learned about the law of attraction, and I put it to work, and it works. I mean that. It works. It works 100%. What you think and what you believe is what you receive. And that's the truth. Like, I just want you to know that that is the truth. The truth is what we think about, we bring about. There has been a shift in our reality. And the ones that are still here have the chance to come up out of that deep, deep, dark place. And if you want help, if you want the way, I'm going to be doing something, again, untraditional. So I've learned through my journey in the last 2 years, through my awakening, that the reality I thought we were in is nothing, that we're not in anything close to what we were taught. My awakening brought me the understanding of money and what it is, and the 9 to 5, and how there's another way. And guess what? I found the other way of that too. I don't work a traditional job. I work 3 different part-time jobs, and then I do a lot of stuff because I'm a nice guy and I'm a like caring person. I help whenever I can, even if it's an inconvenience to me, and I am able to help. I help because I know that when I am in need, that my actions are what causes my future actions to happen. So I know that if I give my time in a situation, even when I don't want to, that when I need someone, that God will send that someone my way, because God is real. God is not I'm not saying what God is. All right, how about that? My God, my understanding of a God and our Creator is not somebody who is jealous, is not somebody who could throw us in a pit of fire. That's not my God. I'm sorry, I don't believe that. And I don't believe that just stating the words that Jesus is Lord is all you need to do to be saved. That doesn't make any sense to me. Do I believe in Jesus? I believe that the book was modeled after a man, Yeshua Gonsario. I've looked into it that far. I've gotten that much information. Jesus in India. There was a man who walked the path of a man named Yeshua, and he walked his path from the time he was 6 years old until he was 32 in Egypt. And what he found out was everywhere he went, everything he learned was their spiritual practices in that region. And it was the eastern continents. It was Africa and Asia and, the Middle East. It was Iran, Iraq. I mean, Jesus was a redskin. The portrait that we see of the white Jesus is a lie. His name was not Jesus. Jesus is a lie. The name is a lie. The name was Yeshua. I'm not even going to let that fuck up my video. I'm going to just go with, yes, God is in everything. It's not a person in the sky. It's not a jealous God. Jesus is teachings. The red writings in the Bible, what he taught, is not what Paul taught. It's not what the church gave us. And I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings. But there's nothing you can do to change my mind, because my God armored me and told me to look. My God told me to open my eyes and go back to the source. So I went to the source. And in doing so, in the studying of spirituality and religions around the world, I had, with an open mind you guys, you have to have an open mind for this kind of stuff. If you don't have an open mind and you're closed-minded in a religious set, you aren't going to get what I got. You're not going to be shown what I was shown, because your eyes are closed. Your eye is closed, as Jesus said. You really have to stop letting other people give you their perceptions of life, because we all have our perceptions because of the path that we chose. We're all going to the same place in the end here. And I believe that we are in a heaven because I make things happen in my life. I do make things happen in my life. And when I was in active addiction, the things I made happen were negative. Constantly. So, I changed the way I think. By changing the way I think, God brought me different things to think about. So I struggled alone for a long time. Even when I was around people, I was struggling alone because I was trapped in my mind. I was trapped in the box. I literally couldn't get out of my own mind. I was stuck in there. And I found out that there's a whole entire world out here, guys. We don't have to live in our regret. We don't have to do that to ourselves. We can learn how to forgive. And when you learn how to forgive, your life will change. I promise you that. When you learn how to quit blaming others and see it for what it is. I mean, your situations that you're saying, well, he did this to me and this is why I did this. No, exactly. You are the one in control of you. And if we aren't conscious, we aren't in control. And we react to people's actions. We react without hesitation, and we say things we don't mean. We do things we don't want to. We end up in places with people that we regret doing later, and then we sit in that regret. And there's a way out of that. The way out of it It's with honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. Again, this is what it is. I know right now I might have been a little hard to follow. Still a little nervous because I am gonna hit send on this one or upload. I would like to, hopefully, I don't give a fuck about making the money. Like, making money on YouTube it's not my fucking main objective here. My main objective is to get into the minds of addicts and help them get out of their cages. Listen, I get it. You're stuck. I get it. You can't say no. I get it. You're clean and you go back and you don't know why. But I promise you there's a way. It's a beautiful day today. It's probably like 15 degrees where I'm at. I'm up in Upper Michigan. Pissed off because we haven't gotten enough snow to go snowmobiling, and that's my jam. I love to rip. I love to brap. Brapping's my thing, man. I love to fucking get down and tell stories and go hard. I go hard on everything. Absolutely everything. I go as hard as I can on. I'm really hoping that I learn how to do this without the ums and the likes and the stuttering and the not knowing where to go. And I know that when I hit my flow state, watch out. I'm good at that shit. I'm good at talking. I have charisma, believe it or not. You might not get it from this video right now, but I'm gonna start recording my life. I'm gonna start doing the things that God is telling me to do. I'm actually gonna fucking listen to my directions that get given to me. I'm doing the things that are meant for me to do. Right now I'm on my second day fasting. Again, like, so I went 3 days. I made it from the 31st of December until the 3rd, and then I ate, man. I smashed food like an idiot. I had no idea that when you're done fasting for 3 days that you're supposed to slowly ingest fruit, because I didn't have an understanding of even what fasting was. I just kept hearing God tell me that I needed to fast, and it was coming in my mind. It was coming from downloads, and it was coming from my YouTube algorithm was bringing it to me constantly. So I decided to give it a try without looking into it and being informed on the best way to go about a fast. And then I found out that you can fast for like 41 days. And I'm not doing that, but I am doing intermittent fasting, and I am slowing down on not only stopping eating. I'm going to be putting cigarettes out. I'm going to be putting my medication that's going to be done. So I'm going to be going through my last little hurrah with coming off of a substance. But that substance has kept me clean for 3 years. But it's time, God's telling me it's time to come off of it. And it's time to come out into the world and tell my story. So, again, my name is Kenny, and I'm going to be putting out videos on my life, on what I have been through in my life. And I'm going to be trying to hopefully touch some lives out there, hopefully give you guys some inspiration, and know that no matter where you're at, like no matter how low you are, remember it can get worse, but God's trying to show you there's a way. So hopefully in the next video that I post will be a little bit more detailed beginning of my addiction. I'm gonna format this in a way that people can follow, because I'm ADHD and I'm all over the place. I'm really good at multitasking, so I'll be talking about 5 different things at once and trying to bring them together. And I'm gonna work on being calm, staying collective. You know, I'm not gonna pull a Terrence Howard and start spewing out all this crazy shit that comes to me, because he's onto something. That dude is definitely 100% onto something. I opened the Flower of Life the same way he did before he did, and I was messing around with the concaves and shit, and I didn't make no linchpin. But I opened that Flower of Life, dude, right after I got into sacred geometry and started drawing and using my compass and square. You know what I mean? Like, when I started to do that architecture, like, literally, your brain starts to wake up because you're making connections. You're learning something new. So, I'm also going to be just raw, dude. I'm going to be uncut. I'm going to be putting these out without looking back to see how I sounded or what I look like. So I hope that with all of you guys out there that are watching this, that you give it a chance. And maybe I'll come across your algorithm again. And if it's not me, God will bring you the information you need. Alright guys, I'll catch you in the next one.